All right, all you creepers and crawlers, welcome to the dumbest soccer posters of the week, volume number 3. This week, we didn't have to go very far. You know, usually we take posters from Big Soccer and all the other sites, SoccerNet, and we have to accumulate some dumb posters. But this week, we didn't have to accumulate anything because all we had to do was go to an iReporter report on CNN about will Americans still care about soccer after the World Cup is over? And oh my God, Brett, it just went crazy with idiots all over the place. And so today, we only have one source for our dumbass posters, CNN. All right, this shouldn't be too surprising anyhow.
Mind you, we also had to cut out a lot of them because there are a lot of duplicate ignorance in there.
Exactly. The number of spankers who said they'd rather watch grass grow or paint dry. I wish they would go watch grass grow and paint dry.
Maybe they should sniff the paint.
Smoke the grass.
Yeah.
They might enjoy the game more. Or maybe gain a brain cell and understand the beauty of the sport of soccer. But anyhow, let's kick this off with dumbass number 1, whose name is Twin Soma. And Twin Soma says the following.
Nomas.
I don't understand why in the world the U.S. would bid to host the World Cup in 2018 when there is no understanding or much support for the sport here. Gripe all you want. I'm glad the U.S. got knocked out. I'm still watching every game and cheering for my home team. Blah, blah, blah. Wanker.
Wanker.
Extreme wanker. No support, really. Maybe they weren't around in 1994. You know, maybe they weren't born. I don't know. But we had the highest grossing in attendance World Cup in World Cup history.
Yep. Not
to mention the large population of Mexican Americans, a lot of first-generation European, not to mention all the people that are going to travel to the United States to watch the game. There are plenty of people who will support the World Cup here.
That was a sold-out World Cup practically in '94. Oh, yeah. So this person, maybe they were born, but they were probably just still pooping in their diapers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, dropping a load in the old white bag. All right, the next person is B-Rad. He says the following dumb things. He starts out saying, soccer sucks. Didn't care when they were in, that is the U.S. team. Still can't wait for real football season to start. When they start having American names playing soccer, I will then care.
Racist.
Real football, huh?
Real football.
The game where they use their hands.
Right.
Yeah. Real football.
Yes.
I was going to say, American names. What's an American name?
Right.
I would like to know. You know?
So this guy's not only an idiot, he's a freaking racist pig. All right. So everyone's last name should be Johnson or Martin or, Thomas or something. What the hell is an American name? What a fucking moron. All right.
Dumbass.
Next guy, Brunderwood says, it's people like you who make it difficult to love soccer. He's talking to another poster. The most popular sport in the entire world except for the U.S.
Not true.
So he's saying basically all over the world, soccer is the most popular sport, which is generally true. But it's not true, Brett, because in other countries like New Zealand and Australia, South Africa, there are different sports that are more popular, like rugby.
Even in India, cricket's, I believe cricket's probably the number one sport there.
Absolutely. So it's just kind of a mild dumb statement. It's not huge, but he still gets 1 point. The next guy's named John D. Anyhow, he says he gets 2 points for this dumb stuff.
Dumbass.
Other than the low scoring, the fact that they never stop the clock, it drives me nuts. We have that technology, he says.
Well, the low scoring argument is so cliche.
Yep.
It's what everybody says. Low scoring, low scoring. Well, the fact that we don't count our points for more than 1 point makes a huge difference. Look at the Germany and Uruguay game, 3-2.
Yep.
I mean, that was an exciting game, and you know what? If that was a football match, an American football match, that would have been 14-21. Yep. Nobody looks at that as a poor scoring game.
I think
but the fact that there's 7 points a goal, touchdown.
Right. Portugal won 7-0.
Yeah.
And Germany scored 4 goals numerous times throughout the tournament.
Yep.
It's a bullshit on this guy, you know? Sorry.
Dumbass.
Go ahead.
The clock. What's up with the stopping of the clock? Yes, we have that technology, but who wants to sit around and watch a game for 8 hours out of your day?
Yep.
Really? I mean, how many times in watching basketball and watching American football can the last 2 minutes really take like 40 minutes? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and besides, it's called extra time. They added on. So another dumb remark. Don't need to stop the clock. All right, guys? All right, next guy's name is Vet. I don't know if he's a veterinarian or a veteran idiot, I should say. He says, yawn. Okay, as soon as I finish watching the paint dry on the walls, cliche bastard, maybe it's the lack of intense strategy in soccer and finesse.
Dumbass.
Yeah, watching paint dry again. Cliche.
Yeah, boring.
That's just somebody who doesn't really have anything intelligent to say. And his last part of the post explains it. Intense strategy, finesse. All that's saying is that I'm ignorant about the sport. I don't know shit.
Dumbass.
Right, exactly, because there's plenty of that going on. This is our winner for the week.
Dumbass.
Ironically, he calls himself One Who Knows. He should have added he should have added the word crap at the end of that.
Stupid.
He says, until the U.S. gets a viable league in this country, like we don't have one, they very well may never do well at the world level. Like hardly any MLS players even played in our World Cup team anyhow, so that doesn't matter. Anyhow, he says, we have very few players from the U.S. that are good enough to play with the teams in Europe. Like our whole lineup.
Dumbass.
Okay, since 90% of the team was made up of European players. What a moron. And then he says, we have a huge disadvantage in the sport because it was not the sport of choice in the U.S. And then he finishes by saying, we really need to do some educating ourselves in reality. That's ironic.
Education.
Well, you already pointed out a viable league in the U.S. We've already got the MLS. It's been around since '96.
Right.
Was the next part. It was bad at the international level. You
Yeah.
know what? A lot of countries around the world would love to boast, say, in the last 5 World Cups, we've made it out of the group stages 3 times.
Right.
That is not bad. Yes, we might lose out in the first or second game of the stage, but you know what? We're already in the top half of the teams by doing that.
Right. I just want to finish up to all the morons out there who seem to think for some reason that the players on our team come from the MLS, on our national team. They don't. Wake up. There were like 4 players on the whole roster who play in MLS, okay? And Donovan, who plays in the MLS, just got done playing in Everton. So,
I will point out that most of our players that are playing in Europe started or have played at some time in their career in the MLS.
So what does that say about the MLS? It says it's
Exactly.
a good place to start, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
5
so
points.
this guy's still a freaking idiot.
Moron.
All right, he gets 5 points. He wins the award for the dumbest poster of the week so far. Let's see. We're going to move on, and Sam is next, and he got 2 points because he said the following silly things. He said, right on. Of course, the world is not going to change the rules of soccer just to appease Americans. On that same note, why does the world care that the U.S. doesn't really like soccer? By the way, the world doesn't care that the U.S. doesn't like soccer. But anyhow, to the rest of the world, he says, consider yourselves lucky that our best athletes don't play soccer.
Unoriginal.
Yeah. Actually, majority of the world would prefer us not to play soccer because they find us as ignorant as we find the posters we're responding to right now.
Right.
You know, and the best athlete argument is a terrible argument. Just because an athlete is a superstar in one sport, say basketball, does not mean that they would be able to turn it around and do it in soccer. Now, if they want to make an argument, the players that tried out for those sports like basketball, baseball, and football and never succeeded, those players there might have been a hidden gem in there somewhere that could have added depth or could have added a star player if he played soccer.
Right.
Can you say that?
Can you see an almost 7 foot, what is he, 6'8", 6'9", LeBron James playing soccer? Again,
Yeah, I don't do
it's a ridiculous concept. I mean,
I feel like we're gonna have this argument every time we do these.
I know.
these shows. So,
but you look at Europe, okay? All the guys that are over the 6'8", they go play in basketball, just like they do in the United States. So if you're gonna say that the European countries are losing their best athletes to basketball, that's a stupid argument. Of course, that's not true. It's just that tall people can't play soccer very well, and that's why the tallest person in the World Cup was 6'7", Peter Crouch. Okay, End of story. Maybe it was Handanovic. I think he's like 6'7", 6'8". But he's a goalie.